NTH-CHILD and NTH-OF-TYPE are two pseudo classes in CSS that almost look like they are doing the same thing. They allow you to target elements at specific positions, but they have distinct differences, which I'll be covering in this video. I'll be using this demo that I created in my last video to explain the difference between these two pseudo classes. You can check out this demo in my previous video. As you can see in the code for this demo, I'm using NTH-OF-TYPE. I can also use NTH-CHILD to select this element, but in my case, using NTH-OF-TYPE makes the selection more reliable or more specific. I'll explain what I mean. So here I can select an image, do NTH-CHILD, and then I do 2, and this is going to select an IMG element that is the second child of a parent element. So now if we go to this HTML, let me put the CSS on the side. If we go to this HTML, you can see in this spread container as a parent, I have one div. This is the first child, and then this is the second child that is an IMG element. So here, if I should turn off the grayscale, because all images have a grayscale of 1. Now you might think that this is going to select the second image, but it will actually select the first image. So if I come here and refresh, you can see that everyone has a grayscale except the first image. But I'm doing NTH-CHILD 2 here. Well, what NTH-CHILD 2 does is that it selects an IMG that is at the second position in the context of children of a parent element. If I should do NTH-CHILD 1 and I refresh, you can see it doesn't select anything, because here we say an IMG that is the first child, but in this case an IMG is not the first child, it's only the second child, third child, or fourth child. So if I want to select the second image, it means I have to do NTH-CHILD of 3, because when you look at this parent, you have 1, 2, 3, and this is the second image. So now I'm going to style the second image without that grayscale. But what if I use NTH-OF-TYPE? Well, when I use NTH-OF-TYPE and then here I put 1, it's kind of like NTH-OF-CHILD, but it takes into account the type of element. So when you say IMG NTH-OF-TYPE 1, it means an IMG that is the first child of a parent. It doesn't matter if there are other elements like div, spans, anchor tags, whatever before it, as long as it's an IMG element and it's the first of its kind under a parent, then we're going to select that element. So now if I come here and refresh, you can see that I can now correctly target the first IMG. So even if I come here and I don't know, put a span or put a H2 or put an anchor tag, it doesn't matter. This IMG is still the first of the IMG children. So if I should refresh, you can see it still selects that first item. If I come back here to change this to NTH-CHILD and I want to select the first IMG, that means I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have to do NTH-CHILD 5 just to select the first IMG, because if I do NTH-CHILD 1, well, that's not going to work because there's no IMG at position 1. So depending on what you are trying to achieve with your CSS, using NTH-OF-TYPE can be more maintainable than using NTH-OF-CHILD, because when you use NTH-OF-CHILD, then you have to be careful of the element that comes before that element. So if I change something here, that means I need to come to the CSS part and also change it. But when I use NTH-OF-TYPE, then I don't have to worry about how many things comes before that element, because CSS is going to take account of the element type as it checks the position. And that's what I am doing here in this demo. I'm using NTH-OF-TYPE. So even if I come between this IMG and put an anchor tag here, it doesn't matter. If I want to style the second image, I do NTH-OF-TYPE 2. So this is the first image for the parent. This is the second child image. And when I come here and refresh, you can see we have the second image here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and turn notifications for more videos like this.